Hello YouTube, CreatorJ1 here. Now you may have seen the title of the video. I get Battlefront 2015 is going to be 7 years old this year, and I do get this might be a bit too late for this video. However, I think at least we can kind of still make videos on it. While they might not be as popular as like the Battlefront 2 ones, at least we can still make videos on this game if we really wanted to. So this is the video I'm doing, and this is mainly a part 2 to my last video, I'm pretty sure, about a possible DLC that could have happened for this game, and that would be a Star Wars Rebels themed one and this would be a expansion pack for the base. I think it was on Stygian Prime, it was Inspire, I think that's what it was, and it would be basically basically just watch that video. I'll leave a link in the description for you if I remember. So yeah, this is a kind of part 2 to it as a hero concept. So for this hero concept, we will begin off with the Grand Inquisitor. Now this expansion pack would have 2 heroes, the Grand Inquisitor and the Kanan Jarrus. So we'll get to the Grand Inquisitor before we do Kanan. Now the Grand Inquisitor, he'd be a very kind of unique hero on this part of the. He'd be quite a unique hero, mainly because he would be quite different from Luke and Vader. Instead of having a heavy strike, he doesn't have that kind of attack, and the closest he can get is with a ability that kind of changes how his weapon works. However, let's get into his health before we do. So he would have around 100, he would have about 1,500 health. I think that's a good spot for him. He was obviously trained by Palpatine and Vader, so I think having his health be near Vader is good enough, but also not too much to the point where it's like he is way too powerful. So I think that's a good spot for him. So that's where I'm going to be lying his health at. So he's quite a bit of health. His swing speed will also be quite fast, nearing, if not a little bit faster than Luke's swing speed. I think that could be a good swing speed for him. This allows him to keep up with Luke if he has to, if they're both swinging at each other, and his damage output will probably be the same as Vader's when it comes to his lightsaber. Now he will have a block, it will basically work the same way as Vader's. So yeah, and Luke's of course, but that will basically be the way his lightsaber works. It will be able to basically also block for 6 seconds, half the time being 3 when it gets to, if you start it from the middle of it. So yeah, that's basically the basics done. Now we can get into his traits and abilities. His traits, this would be an ability where he basically would just, well, this would cause him to basically, this would allow him, with the more enemies near him, the more his swing speed would speed up. This will go from 10% to 20% at the second one, 10% at the first rank, and then it will go to probably 40% on the last one, and this will immediately make him turn on both blades. The requirements of this getting built up is the amount of enemies near him. If there is 1 to 2 enemies near, if there is 2 to 3 enemies near him, then it will be at 10%. If it's at 4 to 6 enemies, then it will go up to 20%, and then it will go to that 40% if there is at least 5 to 6 enemies. However, this will be different with the heroes. If there's one hero near him, that will speed up, then it will, if there's 2 heroes near him, then the second and first rank will be randomized. It could be 1 high or 1 low. This would be different in the DLC versions of the modes. This would just make it so if there's 2 heroes near him, then it will be 1. 3 would be the second rank, and 4 would be the third rank. So it could be 2 heroes could set off the first rank, and then a guard or trooper along with those 2 heroes sets off the third, eventually having 3 heroes near him setting off the fourth. Setting off the third rank. I think that's a good way to make it. And this basically speeds up his swing speed. However, if there are 2 lightsaber wielding heroes, which there will be if there's Kanan and Ezra, and Luke, or more lightsaber wielding heroes, he will immediately go to trait 3 and have his swing speed doubled. Now there is another way to, and you will activate the double bladed lightsaber. Now this does not affect any of his damage, only his swing speed. Now his abilities. His left ability will be kind of like how his trait works, except it will be a bit better version of it. So you know how the blaster heroes have their versions of like alternate firings, like Lando's power blast is a more powerful version of his normal blaster. Leia's Trooper Bane is a more powerful version of her blaster. Basically that kind of it, that will be kind of taken over to the Grand Inquisitor. This will give him double blades, as his normal lightsaber is 1 blade, so this will turn him to double blades. However, this will be different from his trait version of it. This will speed up his swing speed by 50% and increase his damage by and this will increase his damage to probably having it be taking out 5 points on the hero normal health. So this will, I think the normal is 10, so this will be up to 15 then. So yeah, he does quite a bit more damage. So yeah. So now we can, and his swing speed also increased as well, so he deals 15 damage quite fast. Then we have his middle ability, which will be called the first ability is called Double Blades. The middle ability is called Pullman Intelligence. So the Pullmans, aka his species, were quite intelligent, so this is an ability based off his species. This is not very, now this is a kind of confusing ability to try and make work, since it's called intelligence. So it's kind of hard to make work, but I think I figured out a way for it to work. This will reveal all the enemies' stats above their heads, which this includes the abilities, the stamina, the amount of, if they are nearing their heats, on the blaster if they do have it, their ability cooldowns, as well as their locations. I think this is a good way to make it work with it being seeming not too far away from what the ability is called, while also making it work within the game, despite it being very different from what the name says. Now the last one will be called You Are What I Was Once Was. This is I had a bit of trouble saying it then. Basically, if you remember the Grand Inquisitor in Season 2 of Rebels, he is basically shown to be one of the temple guards. This is going to be reflected in this ability. this will give him a shield for the light side, and this will block off any attacks the light side throw at him. However, this can be countered by the dark side, as they can do slight damage to him if the Inquisitor is not careful. This does not make an enemy, they will do very slight damage to him if he gets in the way, so he does not get damaged a lot, but this does make the Inquisitor a bit more vulnerable to the dark side. However, it's also to the dark side's characters. However, it does make him more protective when it comes over to the light side, as he can't get attacked by them. This will mainly last for about 3 seconds, that way it isn't too overpowered, and the left ability will last for about probably 10 seconds. I think that's a good time for the double blades, and it can be restored with the more damage if the trait keeps on getting built up, so the can go on for a longer time as long as the trait's built up. So yeah, now we can get on to his bonuses, I would say, and the other things like his emotes and his opening shot lines. Now his first bonus will be the form of guards. However, these guards will be quite different, as they'll be Inquisitor guards. So this will be his own version of the guards. They are slightly more powerful than the normal guards, which are the Death Troopers, Honor Guards, and the Imperial Guards, or Royal Guards, whatever you want to call them. They are slightly more powerful than them. However, they are still a guard, so they're not going to be as overpowered as a hero. They will top out at about 500 health, so they have quite a lot of health. And this will take Luke to take about 5 swings to probably kill them. So yeah, since I think his lightsaber does 100 damage, which is 1 damage on a hero. So yeah, or 10, I think it's 10. Yeah, it would be 10. So yeah, that's basically what it is. So they are quite powerful. However, they cannot accept hero health. So yeah, now there will be no way for them to heal apart from being near the Grand Inquisitor. This is a way to allow them to still be effective without them being too much without them being too low powered, and they can just be taken out in a couple swings. Now they will probably have the same stats as the Grand Inquisitor, with them being slightly nerfed to be for his swing speed to be slightly lower, his health to be slightly lower, and the blocking time to be slightly lower, so it would be 5 seconds, and then the half would be 2. So I think that's a bit fairer. And like the health is about 1,004. Wait, no, I said it would be 500, didn't I? And yeah, I think that's quite good, so it isn't too much. They would not have a trait. However, they can heal by being near the Grand Inquisitor. However, they will regenerate about 1 of their health every 3 seconds, so it's not too much of a like, they're not, it's meant to be more like they're not a hero, so they're still a guard, not a hero, and I think that's a good way to balance it out. Now their abilities, this will spawn in the 7th sister and the 5th brother. I think those are 2 good ones to spawn in my opinion. I think they're the common enemies of season 2, so I think they're good ones to have spawn in. Now their abilities will be the same. Their middle ability will be an ability that would allow them to fly with their lightsaber. Their main weapon would also be the double-bladed lightsaber, so they would not have the ability to go 1 blade. So then their next ability would be sensing, which will just reveal them. So this is a variation of the Scam Pulse. However, this won't be as powerful, you could say, as this will only show enemies within the that are near them. So that would be within the circle of on the minimap / radar. So that's how close they can get. So they are still, so another form of them being not as powerful as a hero. The last ability, however, will be one that will basically slightly increase their swing speed, only slightly, to the Grand Inquisitors, but apart from that, well, between their normal swing speeds and the Grand Inquisitors, so they're still not as fast, but they are fast on their swing speeds, to probably about Luke's swing speed. Their normal swing speed will probably be Vader's, so it's still quite slow. However, they can still keep pace with the other heroes and the other guards, so I think that's a good way to put it out. And then if they get added as heroes later on, then we can just have more different Inquisitors take their place. Now the Grand Inquisitor's opening line, there are 2 opening lines, and I can't really decide between the 2 because I think they're both good. I think the most likely one would be the Inquisitor's, I think would be his first line to the Grand Inquisitor's first line to Kanan and Ezra, and that would be, "I am the Inquisitor, welcome." I think that would be a really nice line for it to be said, and I think it could even be nicer if it was even heard in the actual match and it wasn't just for the player that's just playing the Inquisitor. I think that could be a good thing. So yeah. Oh, and now the second one is, I think it was something along the lines of, "At last, a fight that might be worthy of my time." I think that could be another good one, but I think that can also work as an emote. So, or a line he just randomly says in game. I think, and it's either one of them, either 3 of these will work really. And now the emotes, I think a good one would be, "There will be no reinforcements." I think that would be a good one, especially if your guards are just spawning in. I think that could be a funny line to emote. The second one, I think, could be, "There are some things far more frightening than death." I think that's another good line from the Inquisitor. I'm calling him the Inquisitor because that's what he was referred to as in the show before season 2, so do excuse me calling him the Inquisitor, not the Grand Inquisitor. And the last emote, I think, could be probably another one that seems more like it's an interaction, but probably one of his more, like, you could say, lines that is kind of like, you could say, iconic. And that is the one where he says, "Ready to die." Where he's spinning the lightsaber, but he's not using the spinning function on the lightsaber in the 5th episode. And he's spinning the saber with the double blades at Ezra, but he doesn't use this ring option. I think that could be another line he can say. Now, I think it could be pretty funny to hear, but that's basically it. So yeah, now the trait, if I didn't say it already, I think it was also like one of the emotes, which was, "At last," well, not at last, but a fight that might be worthy of my time, which is why it's that increased swing speed. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this hero concept, and I'll see you guys in it later. Bye.